Welcome to the Parle County Historical Museum. My name is Rachel Croat. I am the Outreach Education Coordinator. Please come on in. Let me be your tour guide. You may have heard of the Bird Lady, but who is she? Well, May Nisbet Peterson was born in Rochester, Minnesota on March 15, 1876, to John Nisbet and Mary Ann Murray Campbell. May graduated from Rochester High School. After high school, she trained and became a registered nurse so that she could afford more education. Eventually, she enrolled in the College of Pharmacy at the University of Minnesota, from which she graduated in 1900. After graduation, she moved to Ortonville, Minnesota, where she worked at the Nielsen Pharmacy, as did Charles E. Peterson. In September of 1905, May married Charles, and the couple moved to Madison, where they opened Peterson Drug Store. The family attended the Congregational Church, as it was the only church in town that had services in English. May was at one time or another superintendent of the Sunday school and president of the Ladies' Aid. In the summer of 1924, May's hobby of birdwatching grew when Dr. Thomas E. Roberts, a physician with an interest in ornithology, his assistant, and a botanist from the University of Minnesota, came to the area to collect information for a new diorama depicting a prairie habitat. The men stopped at the Peterson Drug Store, and Charles told them that his wife, May, had just inherited some bird books, and maybe she could help them out. The men took the Peterson's son, Charles Jr., to assist them in finding burrowing owls and other birds. The visit of these men sparked an interest for May in ornithology, which absorbed her spare time the rest of her life. It also led to a lifetime of correspondence with Dr. Roberts. In a very early letter to Dr. Roberts, May reported seeing a bird which she identified as an Arctic towhee. Dr. Roberts was quite skeptical that she had seen that particular species in Minnesota. Therefore, May purchased a sparrow trap. The trap displayed here is May's original bird trap. And on May 11th, 1934, she trapped a male Arctic towhee and trapped the female on May 13th. She sent her specimens to the Natural History Museum at the University of Minnesota. This constituted the first record of this species in Minnesota. May reported that they came after a 48-hour dust storm, May 9th through the 10th, and that they probably got disorientated. These events inspired her interest in bird banding. May began banding birds by setting water traps in the bird baths in her backyard. This is a procedure that requires great care and considerable record keeping, as she also reported her findings to Washington, D.C. The statistics of her records include at least 15,000 birds banded, including 120 species. On her back porch, May kept a cigar box full of bands in an organized arrangement on a table, along with her binoculars. She kept a notebook open in that same location so that she was able to record all that she observed and record the birds that she banded. May was the first to record a sighting of a black-throated gray warbler and a McGilvery's warbler in Minnesota. Many of her bird sightings also occurred at Salt Lake, south of Marietta. May kept an ornithology library, which she enjoyed sharing with visitors. May had a talent for interesting other people in her subject and always encouraged the young. A visitor from Minneapolis stated that she demonstrated her water traps for him and offered him her extra traps in case she received a banding permit. After he saw her banding records, he was astonished. The visitor also commented that May talked with great appreciation of the bird life in and around Madison. May was listed in Who's Who of Minnesota due to her work in ornithology. Her work is commemorated on the signboard at the Salt Lake Water Management Area near Marietta, Minnesota, where she spotted many rare birds such as eared grebes and snowy egrets. It was through her interest in birds that Salt Lake was preserved as she brought this area to the attention of naturalists. After May's death in 1960, a memorial piece was written about her by Goodman and Marge Larson in the Flickr magazine, which is published by the Minnesota Ornithologists Union. Thanks to May Peterson, that Salt Lake attracts birders throughout the United States to catch unusual glimpses of avocets, tundra swans, and other species.
If you are interested in more Lacoparo County history, check out the Lacoparo County Museum, located in Madison, Minnesota. And while you're there, they might even share their recipe for pigeon pie.